Happy Friday, everybody. It is Friday, April 24th, and today is AMI Day 24. So today, we will have a Zoom meeting today, so that is our announcement for today. We'll have a Zoom meeting today at 3:30. I'm getting tongue-tied already. And it is Fun Friday, so we'll be playing our Fun Friday game, and whoever wins, I will mail you your prize in the mail. And so we will play our Fun Friday game, and then we will continue our read aloud of the Graveyard Book. So that's in our Zoom meeting today at 3:30. And as always, I'll post the link for that on Class Dojo, Google Classroom, and on Remind. So you just click the link to that, join our Zoom meeting, and we'll have lots of fun today for Fun Friday. So game and our read aloud of the Graveyard Book. So that's my only announcement for today. And since it is Friday, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, your only work is to do reading, writing, and specialty activity and some social studies. So you have 4 things to do on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays: reading, writing, social studies, and then picking a specialty activity. So we'll go ahead and get started. I'll share my screen with you guys so that we can all look at it together. Let's see here. Here we go. So here is your AMI work for today. So at the top, you can see that it just says day 24, and it says complete this work on the 24th day of AMI. So AMI day 24 is today, April 24th, and then you'll just put your name, and then your parents will sign this work. That's for when you turn it in. And when you turn it in at school, make sure you put my name on it too. Make sure you put Miss McGee on there so they know which teacher it goes to and which student it belongs to. So we're starting today with reading. So your option 1 for reading is to read a book of your choice for 20 minutes. So you'll just record the title of whatever book you're reading, the number of pages that you read, and then that paragraph summary about what you read. And then you also want to talk to somebody in your house about what you read, because when you talk about what you read, it helps you remember what you read. And in turn, that helps your reading comprehension. So use specific details from that story. So use those details that you read in the story so that your family can imagine what you read about as well. So that's option 1, or you can do option 2, which is to log into iStation Reading and work on the reading section for 20 minutes. So do iStation Reading for 20 minutes, or if by chance you're done with iStation Reading, you can do Freckle ELA for 20 minutes, Spelling City for 20 minutes, any of those English language arts online options that you can log on for 20 minutes. Or you can choose to do option 3, which is to read the attached passage and answer the questions. So we're going to scroll down to that attached passage. So the passage for today, let me zoom in on it so we can see it. So this is your reading passage for today. At the top it says read skillfully. So your passage for today is the Elves and the Shoemaker. So you're going to read this little fairy tale text about the elves and the shoemaker. It starts with, once upon a time, there was an honest shoemaker who was very poor. So it's kind of like a fairy tale. It starts with that once upon a time. And so you're just going to read through this passage called the Elves and the Shoemaker. And then you're going to get down here to the 2 questions, or really it's 1 question. The 1 question at the bottom is, what is a lesson people can learn from this story? So you're going to read this story, the Elves and the Shoemaker. And as you're reading, I want you to think about, what is the lesson that people could learn from this story? So whenever you're finished reading the story, on these 2 lines, you're just going to write whatever lesson you think it is that people learn from this story. And then after you say the lesson you can learn is, and write your answer, you're going to go back into the text and you're going to underline the parts of the story that show that this is the lesson you can learn. So you're just finding that text evidence and underlining it to show why that is the lesson you think you can learn from this story. So you're putting what you think the lesson you can learn is, and then you're going back in and you're underlining that text evidence that made you think that. So what in the story made you think that that was the lesson you can learn? And underline that in the story. So that's if you choose to do option 3. And then option 4 is to, as always, do that, go to that PBS link. Scroll back up. So all you'll do is follow this PBS link. It'll take you to the PBS AMI Work website. And at the top, you'll just click Filter By, and you'll click 5 for 5th grade. And you'll choose any of those English language arts videos to watch. And then you'll just do whatever the video asks you to do. Or you can choose, if you have the PBS program on your TV, you can choose to watch the PBS programming for the appropriate grade level on television. So you can turn on your TV, you can look up that schedule for when their 5th grade programming is, and just watch any of those 5th grade TV programs that they provide for you there on PBS. Or you can complete one of the literacy activities attached to the packet. So at the end of your physical AMI packets, they have the PBS work attached. You can just choose to do one of those literacy activities that's attached to your AMI packet. So that's if you choose to do option 4. It gives you a couple options of how to use the PBS resources. And then after you do reading, sometimes when I'm talking on here, I forget to breathe. So after you do reading, you're going to work on writing. So it says choose at least one option. So your options, you have 3 options today for writing. So option 1 for writing is to write an entry in your journal. This can be a story, an essay, or any writing you choose. So if you started that coronavirus pandemic journal, or if you want to start your coronavirus pandemic journal today, it's not too late. All you'll do is for your journal entry, write today's date at the top of your page. It is Friday, April 24th, 2020. So you'll just write that at the top, April 24th, 2020, or you might write Friday, April 24th, 2020. And you're just going to write a journal entry. Pretend like you're just, anything that you would tell somebody face to face about what your day is like, write that down. Whatever you're thinking in your head about your day, write it down. Write down a story about something that happened today or something that happened this week while you were in quarantine. Or write an essay about how you feel about all this. Any type of writing that you choose. So maybe you're being very creative and you're making things during the quarantine. Draw pictures of what you're making. Take pictures using a camera. Maybe you have one of those instant cameras. Take a picture, put the photo in your journal. So it's a fun way to be creative, and you're just writing about your day, writing about what's going on in your life right now. That way, years from now, after all this quarantine stuff is over, you can look back in that journal at this part of history. This is really a part of history. You can look back in that journal and read about what you were doing during this time. So that's if you want to write your journal entry today, just write down anything about your day, what you're doing, what you want to do, what is your life like, what do you miss, draw pictures, paste or take pictures in there. Just add little things to that. Have fun with it. Or you can choose to do option 2, and that says, think about something you would like to do in the next few days. It might be something that is possible or something you know was not really possible. Write a letter to your parent, teacher, friend, sibling, or anyone you would need to persuade to make your wish come true. So you're going to write something that you would want to do in the next few days. It can be something that's easy and possible. Maybe you just want to go for a picnic in your backyard. That's something that's easy or possible. Or maybe it's something you know that's not really possible. Maybe you want to, maybe you want to go back to school, but schools are closed. It just wants you to write a letter to a parent, teacher, friend, sibling, or anyone that you would need to persuade to make your wish happen. So whatever your wish is for what you want to do in the next couple of days, who do you have to persuade to make it happen? So maybe you wanted to go on a picnic in your backyard. You might have to persuade your parents to get everything ready for that. Or maybe you want to go fishing. Maybe you have to persuade your parents or your sibling to go fishing with you. So just think of things that you might want to do in the next few days, things that are possible, things that you can do, or maybe things that are not possible. So kind of think outside of the box. What's possible right now and what's not really possible right now. And write a letter for either of those, and write a letter to the person you have to persuade. Remember, when you're writing letters, start with your salutation. So if you're writing it to your parents, it could be dear mom, dear dad, dear grandma, or if you're writing to your brother or sister. My brother's name's Michael, so I'd say dear Michael, and I would get down and start my letter and try to persuade him to do whatever I wanted to do. And then at the end, you always need your closing. That's where you put your sincerely. I would put Megan, or if I were writing it, or thank you, and then your name. So pick one of those closings. So you could do thank you, sincerely, or maybe even please if you're trying to persuade somebody, and then your name. So you always have your salutation, dear, and the person's name, whoever you're writing to, and then you write your letter, the body of your letter, and then you have your closing, the thank you, sincerely, love, any of those, and then you sign your name at the bottom of the letter. Okay, so that's if you choose to do option 2, or then you have option 3, which is following the PBS link for writing. So you'll follow that PBS link, filter by 5 for 5th grade, and choose any of those English language arts videos to watch for writing. And then you'll do whatever the video asks you to do, or you can choose to watch another PBS programming if you have the PBS channel on your television. Or you can choose to complete one of those PBS literacy activities attached to the back of your packet. So that's if you choose to do option 3 for your writing work today. Then they've added in the social studies. So today it says for option 1 of social studies, it says complete the attached worksheet on being a good citizen. So scroll down to the attached worksheet. So your attached worksheet for social studies, this is if you choose to do option 1 for social studies. Your attached worksheet for social studies is called Being a Good Citizen. So it says, there are many ways to be a good citizen. When you have a picnic at the park, you clean up after yourself. If you see a crime being committed, you call the police. You respect your neighbors by being polite and kind to them, and you vote in elections. So it says here, it gives you a couple questions to answer about being a good citizen. It says, do you do any of the things above? Which ones? So if you go on a picnic at the park, do you clean up after yourself? You're not old enough to vote in elections yet. You have to be 18 to vote. But if you saw a crime being committed, would you call the police? Or do you respect your neighbors by being polite and kind to them? So which one of those things about being a good citizen do you already do? So you'll just write that on those lines. You could say, I clean up after myself after I go to the park. Or if I see a crime being committed, I call the police. I respect my neighbors by being kind to them. So you would just write that on these lines here about which one of those you already do. What do you think it means to be a good citizen? So we read some of the things you can do. These are some of the ways you can be a good citizen. But what do you think it really means to be a good citizen? Why is it important to be a good citizen? Why is it important to clean up after yourself at the park? Why is it important to vote when you're old enough? Why is it important to be kind to your neighbor? So what does it mean to be a good citizen? So you'll write your answer to that right there. And then it says, what else can you do to be a good citizen? So up at the top, it gave you a few ways that you can be a good citizen. What are some other ways you can think of to be a good citizen? If you can't think of any on your own, ask your parents. What are some ways to be a good citizen? Work with your family on this. Ask your parents questions. Ask what they think it means to be a good citizen. Ask your brother or sister what they think it means, your grandma, your grandpa. Ask people around you what they think it means to be a good citizen, and write some other ideas of what it means to be a good citizen here. And then it says on the back of this sheet, draw a picture of yourself draw a picture below of yourself being a good citizen. So on the back of this piece of paper or on a separate sheet of paper, I got tongue-tied. So on the back of this paper or on a separate sheet of paper, you can draw a picture of yourself being a good citizen. So you might draw a picture of yourself talking to your neighbor, or a picture of yourself cleaning up after a picnic at the park. So draw a picture of any of those things, or draw a picture of what you think it'll look like when you go vote when you're old enough to vote. So just draw a picture of that on the back of this paper or on a separate sheet of paper. So that is option 1 for social studies, or I think they just give you one option for social studies. So that's your option for social studies to do today. Wait, no, there's an option 2. Okay, option 2 for social studies. So it says, part of being a good citizen is taking care of the community in which you live. Write a paragraph that describes how you can take care of your community. Who else, besides yourself, plays an important role in taking care of your community? Example, mayor, police officers, firemen, garbage men, etc. All those people play an important part. The mayor helps the city run. The police officers keep everybody safe. Firemen keep everybody safe. Garbage men help keep your community clean. So what specifically do they do to take care of the community? Example, the mayor makes sure that our roads are fixed if there's a problem. The garbage men collect trash from homes so that it keeps our community clean. So you're just going to write a paragraph about who else besides yourself plays an important role in the community. And you can also think of the race strategy. We were doing a lot of the race strategy for before all of this quarantine. So you can think of the race strategy. So R meant to restate the question, A meant to answer, C meant to cite. You don't really have a paragraph that you read about any of these, but instead of citing, you can have an example of what this person does, and E is explain. So on this, you can kind of have two E's. So our race will be spelled a little differently. You can restate the question, answer the question, and have two examples. And then maybe a sentence to wrap up your paragraph. So you could say, there are many people that play an important role in the community. That's kind of like restating the question as a sentence. One person that plays an important role in the community is, this is your answer, and you could say, is the mayor, are the police officers, firemen, garbage men. So that's your answer. And then you could say, for example, the mayor makes sure that the roads are fixed if there's a problem, and the mayor helps the city run. And then you could say, this shows why the mayor is an important part of the community. So you're just writing a paragraph about someone besides yourself that plays an important role in the community. And that's if you choose to do option 2 for social studies. You're just going to write that paragraph about somebody that plays an important role. Okay, and then you get to choose a specialty activity to do today. So let's scroll down and look at them together. So your specialty activities you can choose from today. PE, make a hopscotch court. Make any pattern of your choosing and play with your family. So go out on your sidewalk or on your road in front of your house. Make a hopscotch court and make it in any pattern you want, any shape, any pattern, and play hopscotch with your family. So that's if you choose to do PE today. For music, you have an instrument word search. So you have the word search here, instruments of the orchestra. And then here is your words that you need to find. And then here is your word search. I already see some of the answers. Up here is clarinet. So there's clarinet, and then mark it off the list. Y'all know how to word search. So find those instruments in this word search, and that's if you choose to do music today. Or you can choose to do art. You have a couple, art, I said that a little weird. You can choose to do art. You have two options for art. The first one is click on the link below to print out and do the following activity. Choose the medium that you want to create in. So you're going to follow this link, and it's going to give you an art project to follow along with. Maybe you don't have a printer, but you could at least read the instructions off the activity. So pull up the activity online and read the instructions of how to do it. So you're going to follow along with that activity, and you get to choose the medium that you created in. So that's if you choose to do option 1 for art. Option 2 is to draw you playing your favorite sport or playground activity. So maybe you like to play basketball. Draw a picture of yourself playing basketball. Maybe your favorite playground activity was, I know some of you were liking to do, before all this happened, you liked to do backflips on the swings. And I had to tell y'all to stop because that was dangerous. Maybe draw a picture of yourself doing a backflip on the swings. That's a safe way to do a backflip when you're just doing it in a picture. So draw a picture of yourself doing a backflip on the swings, or playing soccer during recess, or any of those things. Draw a picture of you playing your favorite sport or playground activity. So that's if you choose to do option 2 for art. And that's your AMI work for today. So you just choose one option for each of those. Choose an option for reading, an option for writing, and then one of those options for social studies, and one of those specialty activities. And that's all you have to do today. But if you need any extra help, there are still spots open for you to sign up for tutoring sessions. You can follow that Google Sheets link that I sent out on Class Dojo and on Remind, and you just sign up for a 30-minute time slot, and I will send you a Zoom link, and we can meet on video, and I can help you with anything else you need help with. Or you can just message me with any questions that you have. You can message me on Google Classroom, on Class Dojo, on Remind. Send me a message with your question, and I will do my best to answer it and to help you any way that I can. But just remember, we do have a Zoom meeting today at 3:30 to continue our read aloud of the Graveyard Book. And it is Fun Friday, so we will be playing our Fun Friday game, and whoever wins, I will mail you your prize in the mail. And it'll be exciting and it'll be fun, so invite your classmates. And as always, stay safe, stay healthy, wash your hands, and remember, I love you guys and I miss you so much. And I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful Friday. Thank you for watching.